Hey everyone, Jake here for Extreme Terrain, and in this video, we're taking a closer look at the AFE Scorcher Bluetooth Power Module fitting 2022 and newer Tundras. The Scorcher Blue Power Module is a great way for Tundra owners to quickly and easily increase the power output of their trucks. It features a really simple installation, easy operation, and an affordable price to boot. Unlike a traditional tuner module that alters your ECU and multiple different engine parameters, the Scorcher takes a more simplified and straightforward approach by altering engine parameters on the fly, leaving no trace that it was even there once unplugged. Now this one comes with 4 different pre-programmed power settings, which can be easily viewed on this little in-cabin controller. You get 4 different settings, each represented by a different light. The first one is green, which is stock. Next is yellow, which is sport, and that's gonna turn things up a little bit. Orange is Sport Plus, turning things up a little bit more, and then finally at the top, you've got red, which is race, for when you really want to crank things up. Now you can change the settings here with just a press of a button, and each progressive setting is designed to give you, among other things, more turbo boost, which equates to better response and more power. Now this particular Scorcher also has Bluetooth compatibility, so you can download the free app on most iOS or Android devices and get even more control, and it'll also allow you to make changes right there in the app. The app will also display real-time information such as boost, and it will allow you to further customize each power mode. You can update the device and even measure 0 to 60 and quarter-mile times. Now there are a few other benefits to this versus a traditional tuner as well. First, this is a total plug-and-play installation. Everything mounts discreetly under the hood, so at a glance you may not even notice it. And it's literally just plug it in and you're ready to go. No downloading, no updates, no any of that stuff. You can just plug this thing in, get on the road, and enjoy. Second is that because this is only altering signals and not the ECU itself, this is not going to throw you any engine codes or leave any trace on the ECU should you need to remove it. This also makes a great complement to other breather modifications like an intake or exhaust, but it is also compatible with your stock setup too. Now, construction is difficult to describe when it comes to these sorts of things, especially since you don't see most of it once this is installed. But AFE clearly took some time to make sure this was of high quality. The case is made using ABS plastic, and frankly, it looks kind of cool too. This is all sealed up to protect the electronics inside. All the wiring too comes done for you, already wrapped and heat shrinked and ready to go, which is nice. You've got factory style connectors on there to get everything installed, making sure that this is going to be easy. And the switch that comes with it is pretty slick too. This is actually quite small, as you can see in my hand here, so this will be very unobtrusive when it mounts up. And you've got plenty of cable here to mount this pretty much wherever you want it. Pricing for this unit comes in at about $625, which makes it pretty inexpensive in the pantheon of tuners. And while this doesn't give you all the adjustability or the opportunity to change a whole lot of settings, this is just so easy and it accomplishes the main goal of adding power. In my book, really there aren't any downsides here. If you want easy power and you don't want to spend a ton of money, this is a great way to get it. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and it should only take you about 30 minutes to complete this job. Now, like I mentioned earlier, installation really couldn't be much simpler here. This is all plug and play. So if you can unplug a connector under your hood, you can get this done. You'll likely spend more time routing the cables and playing around with the settings than you will anything else. And again, that wiring is done for you, so this is truly the easy button to tuning. With that though, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the install process.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet and a 12mm socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing a Bluetooth power module in our Tundra, so let's get started. Now the first thing we need to do is pop off our engine cover so we can just lift straight up to pull those grommets out and remove it. So now with our engine cover popped off, we're gonna have to remove a couple connectors. Now right up here we have our T-MAP sensor connector. So we're gonna push in on that black tab and wiggle this one off. And then this one's going to be very hard to see, but we have our MAP sensor all the way back here behind this black plastic. So same thing, there's a black tab that you can push in on and pop that connector off. So now I've got our wire harness for our module laid out across the engine bay. I've got my 2 terminal connectors for the battery running over here. And then we have our connectors for our MAP sensor that's clearly labeled with MAP. And then we also have a T-MAP for this connector. And then we have the connector for the actual module and the switch running over towards the driver's side. So now we're going to install our splitter connectors for our T-MAP and our MAP sensor you're gonna plug male into female and the other male into female as well. So now I'm gonna start with the T-MAP sensor up here, find the wires that are labeled T-MAP, and then I have the male end here that's gonna go into the sensor, click into place, and then the female end that's gonna go into the male end, and that'll click into place. And then we'll do that same thing with our MAP sensor. Plug the female end into our connector. And then we'll plug the female end into our sensor. Next, we can reinstall our engine cover. Now we have these two hooks on the back that are going to clip into the rubber back here. And then we have grommets that are going to go onto these two studs. Next, we can grab the connector that plugs into our switch. We're going to be running this through the grommet right behind the brake booster and into the cabin. So you're going to have to pop that grommet out of place a little bit to slide it through. It's going to be very hard to see, but from this angle, it's right behind the brake booster here. So I'm just going to pop that grommet out of place enough to slide our connector through. And then we'll go on the inside of the cabin to pull it the rest of the way through. So now we can come inside the cabin. We're going to reach up under the dash by that grommet and pull down our connector. And then we can take the connector for our switch. And plug that in. And then on our switch, we have a nice channel that we can press our wires into to make it nice and flat. And then we'll take one of these adhesive strips and lay it down on the back of our switch. And then peel the backing, and now just place it wherever you'd like. I'm gonna go right down here, right next to the hood release. So I'll just center that up and press it down. And then we can clean up our wire. So now we're gonna bunch up all of our wire, and you can either use a zip tie, or I'm just gonna use the twist tie that this came with. And then I'm just gonna leave a little slack at the back here. And then grab my twist tie and twist that up nice and tight. And now there's a panel underneath here. We have a little gap in the back, so we can tuck that up and under that panel. And that's gonna keep it up and out of the way. It's gonna be away from your pedals so it doesn't get caught on anything. Next, we can connect our two battery terminal connectors. I'm gonna start with the positive here. So we're just gonna pop this off the clips and get that out of the way. And then we're gonna take a 12mm socket and loosen up this nut. And then I'm gonna take the red wire, slide that over the stud, and then tighten that back down. And then we can pop our cover back on. And then we're gonna do that same thing on the negative side. And tighten that one down as well. So now next we're gonna mount and connect our module. Now because of the wire going all the way across the engine bay for the battery connections, we only have so many places that we can mount this to keep it out of the way of anything moving or excessively hot. So I'm gonna go right on top of the fuse/relay box here. So we can plug in our connector. And then we have Velcro here that we're gonna use to mount it. So I'm gonna peel the backing paper off of one side and then stick it down in the center here. And then we'll peel the backing paper off the other side. And then we can center this up and lay it down. Now once again, you can mount this anywhere you'd like. For our purposes, I'm just putting it right here, but you just want to keep it out of the way of anything moving or hot. Now this module also comes with this bypass plug. Now if for any reason you need to remove this module, you would disconnect this connector and then you would put this plug into the connector on the wire harness. Now AFE mentioned jump starting it, you would need to do this, and this will just return the vehicle to the factory settings. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the AFE Scorcher Blue Bluetooth Power Module for your 2022 and newer Tundra. Thank you for watching, and for all things Tundra, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.